Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. No, you're not seeing things, obviously, as you have seen from the title. Today's video is me doing a review on the relatively new Maybelline Dream Cushion Fresh Face Liquid Foundation on the Go. Mouthful. We'll just call it Dream Cushion. I bought this from Dwayne Reed along Wall Street, I think it was, when I was in New York recently. For those of you who haven't seen my haul, I will link it below. I have been trying out so many different types of new foundations which I picked up in New York, and I want to do reviews on a couple of them. This, as far as I'm aware, is not available in the UK yet. But it may be later on, or it may not at all. It's really unfair sometimes when it brands like L'Oreal and Maybelline, they only seem to release part of their foundation ranges in the UK and they release all of it in the US and Canada. This is what it looks like up close. My shade is Medium Beige 45. Now, I was very lucky that this actually matches my skin tone almost perfectly, because the range, as far as I could see, only had like 8 shades, which is abysmal. 8 shades, what's the point? Now, for those of you that aren't aware of my natural skin colour, to compare it to MAC, I'm an NC40, and I move towards NC42 as the months start to get warmer. At the moment, I am quite pale. I have maybe caught a slight tan when I was on the ferry to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. If you're an NC42, I think this will suit you. It blends beautifully into the skin. So I am going to do a demo for you in a minute. But let me just, and I've actually been writing down all my notes because I've been trying out so many different foundations. It's very easy to forget what does what and how. So, Maybelline Dream Cushion, this is what I've written. Applied beautifully, like very soft liquid glides on. Oh my god, my own written English is terrible. Medium coverage, slightly buildable, nice natural finish. Well, what? I've obviously been writing shorthand. Medium coverage, slightly buildable, nice natural finish, lasts well, doesn't oxidize or move around much. Now, if you don't powder this down, yes, it will start to move around a little bit, because it is definitely a medium coverage foundation, as I've said. And in terms of its buildability, if that's a word, you can only build it up slightly. Otherwise, you are literally just putting foundation on top of foundation, but you are still being able to see the same amount of skin underneath. So for people that are, let's say, if I am going to be age specific, if you're still in your late teens, your 20s and your early 30s, and you haven't got the problem of fine lines yet, this will not settle into those parts of your face. If you are older and you do have more fine lines, you may find that this settles a bit more as it starts to move around throughout the day, which is why it's very important to powder your skin down. I always powder my skin regardless, but this is just something for those of you to know who like to not wear powder, I don't know why, and like to wear foundation just on its own. You do need the help of powder. I am absolutely loving this foundation. Out of all the drugstore ones that I bought, this is definitely my favourite. It just looks so natural on my skin, and it just makes my natural skin kind of show through. I don't find that it oxidizes, so the color stays true throughout the day on my face. I'd say after about 8 hours it got a little bit tacky on my face, and but I didn't need to blot it or anything like that. That may be down to the fact that I've been using this Airspun powder, which I picked up in New York, which is just the best powder I have ever used, ever. Let me just show you what it looks like. So you open it up, and it comes with a little Maybelline powder puff that nobody ever uses. And then you open it up, and inside is the foundation on like a cushion sponge. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have seen the other cushion foundation. I can't remember which one it was called. And I've always kind of looked at it like, where does all the product go? How much is actually hiding in there? The first time I used this, I shoved my brush into it so hard, and I just saw this liquid just seep into my brush. And literally the amount that I have shoved onto the brush covered my entire face. So bear in mind that even though it kind of looks like it's not much, there is plenty hiding in there. If you are one of those people that likes to use a beauty blender to apply your foundation, I would suggest not using that, because this is quite liquidy and moves around quite a lot. You may find that quite a lot of your product soaks into the beauty blender, and then you will be wasting your foundation. So I've just been using a brush. Skin feels quite natural and quite soft after applying it as well. There is a slight tackiness to it because, as I said, it is quite a liquidy foundation. But as long as you powder it down, it shouldn't like budge around or that sort of thing throughout the day, and it should look very nice and natural. natural. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just prep up my skin as I normally do, that you guys see me doing on my foundation, my makeup tutorials, and I'm going to show you a demo. So first things first, make sure you've got a decent primer. I've been using the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base Visage. I have, by the way, got normal to combination skin, so I intend to get oily around the T-zone and the nose and maybe a tiny bit on the forehead. See that my face has gone a little bit red. Just what happens to my skin when I rub stuff over it. I go red very, very easily. Okay, so all you got to do now is just let it rest in, let the primer settle into your skin a little bit. I also moisturize beforehand. I use my Embryolisse creme concentrate, whatever it's called, the cream, you know what it is, and then I placed my primer on top. So you just need to let it settle into your skin until it feels slightly tacky. The tackier your primer, the more it means that whatever base you apply on top will really stick to it. So the brush that I'm going to be using is the Real Technique stippling brush. It's a little bit dirty. What video of mine do you ever see with me with clean brushes? You guys must think she's so grubby. I've only used this once, I promise, and it was in a makeup tutorial where I used the exact same thing, so it's only been used once. I try not to use my foundation brushes too much, because too much product build-up interferes with how the foundation applies to your skin. Here it is, and I'm just going to dab, 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 dab. Ooh. And then blend it in. It really does apply like a dream, which is why I'm guessing it's called Dream Cushion. Cushion for the spongy, dream because it blends like a dream. I love it. So as you can see, that was enough for it to cover 1/2 of my face. If you guys can see, I'm sure you can quite. Like I said, there's a reason why I'm saying if you're an NC42, this will match you, because I am quite pale at the moment. You can see the line. You can see I look a little bit tanned here and a lot more pinky pale on that side, but I am pale right now. Working on that tan, man. Or working on sunshine coming out at least. See, all I do is just kind of blob it everywhere. And then blend it in. Just going to go in with one a little bit more because I seem to have applied more on the other side than this side. I could see it was starting to wipe off, as in I didn't have enough product on the brush. See, and there you go, and that is one layer all over, as you guys saw. And I really like how it really evens out my skin. Look how even it looks. Like I said, it is definitely a medium coverage foundation. Not sure if you can see my beauty spot right here. If it was full coverage, that beauty spot would be covered. It doesn't really bother me so much having beauty spots, to be honest. It just means I'm beautiful. Now, if you wanted to, I'm just kind of pressing it all in, making sure that it's all nice and even. Now, my skin feels slightly tacky, and yes, it is coming off as I do that. That's because it's fresh. I've just put it on my skin. Now, the best thing to do would be, if you want a little bit more coverage, by all means go in with a little bit more. I personally don't think that I need any. I think that one layer has been enough for me today, but on those days where I feel like I need more coverage, I will definitely apply some. So now the only thing that needs to be done is it all needs to be set, but as you guys know, I always wear under eye concealer, so I'm just going to do my under eye concealer off camera, and then I will come back and show you the way that I used to powder it using the Airspun translucent powder. Okay, as you can see, I now look like a deer caught in headlights because my under eye concealer is done. My face is highlighted. I applied a little bit of concealer on my nose, chin, cupid's bow and head, as I normally do as part of my highlighting with concealer. Now I'm going to set my entire face, and I am using this it's by Coty. It's the Airspun Loose Face Powder. Now Coty is sold in the UK as well, but I'm not sure to what extent. I think most people can get this on Amazon. I paid like $8 or $8.99 for it. I bought 6 because it is that good. This has been made famous by Patrick Star, as you guys know. He uses all the time for his foundation, to set his foundation. He likes very full coverage foundation, and I'm wearing a black skirt. This did not work out well already. Anyway, so it looks like this, and this is translucent. So what I'm going to do is, because quite a lot of the product is in here, I'm going to smush it into the lid. Obviously, you will not be like me balancing on a stool. You will presumably be at your makeup table, like I normally am, making a mess. Okay, so I'm just going to push it into the brush, and now I'm going to press it into my face. Now, I will look slightly ashy for a moment, but that's fine. Because this blends in really nicely. And that, my friends, is it. Now my face feels lovely and soft. It feels set. It feels nice. It feels natural. Now, obviously, everything is very one-dimensional at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup and come back and finish off this review for you guys. Right, so as you can see, my makeup is now done. Once you've done your contouring, your blush, your highlight, and your lipstick, everything comes together and your face looks less flat and 2D. You've now given it some dimension. So the last thing to do is to set your makeup. I have been using the L'Oreal Infallible Fixing Mist. I actually quite like this. But this is a good thing to use if you've applied quite a bit of powder onto your face. Obviously, after the Airspun powder, then you put the contour, the blush, the highlight, maybe a little bit of extra powder to tidy up areas, which is what I do. So the good thing about even if it's not necessarily a fixing spray, but some sort of spray of water, to spray it over the powder to make it settle into the skin, to make it look less cakey if it does look cakey. Hold your breath. So that is it of my review of the Maybelline Dream Cushion Foundation in the shade Medium Beige. If you've got oily skin, bear in mind you may need to use a mattifying primer. That's all I have to say, because it is liquidy, meaning it will move around a lot more. Powder it down as much as you can so that you can get the full effect from it. So I hope you guys found this review and demo useful and helpful. If you've got any comments or questions regarding this foundation, let me know below. I am wearing Dose of Colors Mondaze liquid lipstick. It is actually Monday today. It's Easter Monday as I film this. And I put on the Supreme Glow Highlight Black is the New Gold. That's what I'm wearing. Wearing them for the first time. Love them. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.